Do you know what would happen if the largest asteroid in our solar system collided with Earth? The impact would be absolutely catastrophic. With a massive diameter of around 940 kilometers and hurtling toward us at rocket speed, it would tear through the atmosphere at 60 times the speed of sound, delivering a destructive force equivalent to 4,000 Hiroshima bombs. It would flatten entire cities and wipe out millions of lives. What percentage of a chance do you think our current space technology has at stopping this physical catastrophe? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and join me as we uncover the dangerous truth that scientists don't dare tell you. "66 million years ago, the worst day in the history of life on Earth began. The bringer of destruction came from the south, a massive asteroid hurtling toward our planet at 3 times the speed of a bullet. The impact unleashed an explosive force greater than 10 billion atomic bombs. For over 20 minutes, the entire planet essentially became a blazing oven, as molten debris rained down, igniting global wildfires. The massive earthquakes that followed are believed to have triggered volcanic eruptions worldwide, burying Western India in lava. The final blow came when colossal dust clouds blanketed the Earth, starving life of sunlight for 15 straight years. Scorched landscapes turned into frozen wastelands. In the end, 75% of all species were wiped out. So, where would that leave us if we faced a similar disaster? What if that exact same asteroid struck the exact same spot at the exact same angle? Would humanity hold on, or would we go extinct like the dinosaurs? In the blink of an eye, Central America and the southern United States would be vaporized by the blast. Hundreds of millions of people would be killed in mere seconds. This isn't just science fiction. Many dangerous asteroids are only detected at the absolute last minute. In 2019, asteroid OK, the size of a 30-story building, was spotted just one day before it skimmed past Earth closer than some of our satellites. More recently, the even larger asteroid MK was discovered just 13 days before it flew by us closer than the moon. If they had collided with Earth, they would have unleashed a destructive force equivalent to 3,000 and 9,000 Hiroshima bombs. And the shocking part? Many believe humanity has no real backup plan for this. Humanity stands on the brink of extinction. Outdated solutions like surface coatings, rocket boosters, or laser beams are nothing but futile efforts too slow and weak to prevent an impending disaster from space. We don't have decades to wait when a death sentence is looming. The fatal mistake lies in underestimating the enemy. Asteroids are not immutable blocks of rock. They are loose, crumbling structures with devastating, destructive power. A 100-meter diameter celestial body is barreling directly toward Earth at a speed that tears apart space itself. This is no longer a scientific problem, it's a fight for survival. Experts have just activated a more brutal and decisive method of attack than ever before. Instead of shallow physical impacts, the new technology focuses on exploiting the Achilles heel in the asteroids. Internal structure to trigger an explosion and eradicate the threat immediately. We won't push it away. We will crush it before it even touches the atmosphere. The vast majority of asteroids are not solid rock. They are collections of loose matter, heaps of minerals and dust loosely bound together. This fragile structure misleads humanity into thinking nuclear bombs can shatter them. But in reality, it's a doomsday scenario that cannot be reversed. The space killer is rushing toward us at a terrifying speed of 70,000 kilometers per hour, crossing the Atlantic in just 5 minutes. At this speed, any nuclear warhead is immediately rendered scrap metal. A direct collision would crush the bomb before its circuitry can detonate. Humanity would be utterly helpless in stopping this overwhelming physical force, even if we attempt to detonate a bomb at a distance of several dozen meters before impact. The result would still be humiliating failure. The vacuum of space completely cancels out shockwaves. The enormous energy from the explosion is dispersed uselessly into the void. The target would only sustain a small dent on its surface. The destructive object continues on its deadly path, keeping its course intact, and will crush Earth in less than 2 weeks. Nuclear weapons, humanity's last hope, are utterly useless against the devastation heading our way. Hit like right now to confirm your partnership in this fight for survival. Don't forget to subscribe before the space killer reaches our atmosphere. All cinematic rescue scenarios are lethal fantasies, sending humans to the surface of an asteroid to drill, cut, and plant bombs. It is a suicide mission with an almost absolute failure rate. The zero-gravity environment eliminates any recoil, turning the process of penetrating the celestial structure into a slow, useless task. Meanwhile, the destroyer is barreling toward us at deadly speed, stripping away every last moment of survival for humanity. We don't have time for convoluted plans. The only viable solution is to use super-penetrating tungsten warheads. Tungsten is a metal far harder and denser than rock. Instead of a direct attack, we will place these 2.5-ton tungsten rods in orbit, right along the deadly trajectory of the target. At 70,000 kilometers per hour, the collision is no longer a mere impact. It is the release of energy equivalent to 120 tons of TNT concentrated into a single point. The intercept point must be at least 2 million kilometers from Earth to avoid a catastrophic shockwave resonance in the atmosphere. If the destruction occurs too close, thousands of fragments will rain down simultaneously, creating devastating destruction many times greater than the combined power of all nuclear arsenals, wiping out millions of lives in an instant. When the penetrator strikes the core, the entire structure of the asteroid will be torn apart from within. The boulder will vaporize, the material will melt, and shatter into a cloud of dust scattered across vast space. The impending doomsday will be forced into a harmless cosmic debris display, burning up upon atmospheric entry. However, this is only a solution for smaller objects. For massive cosmic mountains that have the power to wipe out entire civilizations, humanity currently has no means of resistance. The fate of the dinosaurs stands as the harshest proof of the inevitable extinction if we delay. Humanity is facing monsters with the power to wipe out all life on Earth in an instant. The most terrifying of these are the comets from the edge of the solar system, colossal masses moving in the dark at speeds of 140,000 kilometers per hour that no technology can track in time. In 2020, the Neowise comet appeared, with a destructive energy 6,000 times greater than the entire global nuclear arsenal. But it was only discovered a mere 4 months before its closest approach. If a similar object were to strike Earth head-on, death would be certain. Shattering such a colossal entity into millions of fragments would no longer be a solution. The debris would still be powerful enough to incinerate the atmosphere and destroy the entire ecosystem. For survival, humanity must intercept the target at an extreme distance all the way out to Mars's orbit. However, practical calculations show that 24,000 super heavy rockets would be required to transport the necessary number of penetrating warheads. Currently, the world possesses only 2, still unfinished. Even if all global industrial resources were mobilized, we couldn't manufacture enough of these rockets before the disaster strikes. In this desperate situation, the only hope lies in combining penetrating warheads with nuclear power in a plan that has already been prepared. A single rocket like NASA's SLS must remain on standby, carrying the destructive device to intercept the enemy. Once the target is detected, the rocket will travel through space for 5 months, while humanity lives in total terror. At a rendezvous point near Mars, 5 massive penetrator devices will be deployed with absolute precision. A deviation of even a millisecond would lead to humanity's annihilation. Therefore, a team of astronauts must accept a suicidal mission, embarking on a journey with no return, to directly control the final detonation process, sacrificing their lives to secure a fragile chance of survival for the planet. The moment of life and death has arrived. All of humanity holds its breath as they watch the deadly ice block hurtling directly into the crosshairs. At a speed of 140,000 kilometers per hour, the first penetrating object strikes the target, immediately releasing energy equivalent to 2,000 tons of TNT. The immense heat melts the ice and tungsten, carving deep into the comet's structure, creating a cavity dozens of meters wide. Next, the second, third, and fourth devices strike precisely at the same coordinates, continuously shattering, melting, and boring a 100-meter tunnel into the heart of the object. However, these impacts still fail to stop the planet killer. The final blow comes with the devastating force of a 300-megaton nuclear warhead, carrying energy 20,000 times that of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The warhead plunges deep into the tunnel that has been prepared, detonating just before it reaches the bottom. This time, all the destructive power is not dispersed into the vacuum, but is hammered directly into the comet's hard core of rock and ice. The extreme pressure and temperature vaporize material from the inside, creating shockwaves that shatter every structural bond of the ancient celestial body. The entire massive ice block is utterly shattered, transforming into a cloud of millions of scattered fragments, chaos dispersing into space. The death trajectory is erased. Humanity narrowly escapes extinction. Life on Earth is saved not by miracles, but by the rockets and nuclear technology that already exist.